Hey everybody, it's Alexis. I am back with a brand new video. Thank you for being here. Happy Monday and happy day if you're watching this when it's not a Monday. All right. Before I get started, you guys, today I am doing a success story about a client who transformed the version of her SP. And I'm also going to touch upon some basic questions, things I get asked. I did a video about everyone as you pushed out. Perception is projection a couple weeks ago. I talked about that, but let's talk about it today because it keeps coming up and I want to say my opinion, my perspective on the idea. All right. Okay. Before I get started, the links for booking one-on-one coaching are in the box below. If you want to book with me, the links for all of my pre-recorded hypnosis audios are in the box below. Oh, and yes, the links to hypnosis with me are in the box below. I want to say just a PSA and a caveat about the hypnosis that you need to do a coaching session with me before doing a hypnosis session so I can get to know you and I can understand your situation and I can then best tailor the subsequent hypnosis to you. Also, hypnosis with me is only in the session time. It's about 15 even sometimes to 20 minutes. It is not a it's 45 minutes total. It's the same length as my coaching session. So just to say that I have a different approach than a lot of things that I hear about when clients do hypnosis with other people, but I have a clinical training in hypnotherapy and that's what I use it from. Okay. So I don't do past life regression. I don't do a deep hypnosis that's like an hour or something like that. And the reason for that, if you're curious, is because I feel now, I don't do past life regression. I believe in past lives, but it just doesn't call to me as a practitioner to do that. I use hypnosis more for transforming self-concept, releasing and letting go of rejection, wounds, releasing and letting go of things from the subconscious, from childhood associations that you have that you might not even be aware of, okay? But if you are booking hypnosis, and you are booking coaching, let's say, and you're booking hypnosis, I really want you to come into the session with an open mind, knowing that my approach is like a psychoanalytical way of doing hypnotherapy, and that you want to identify that it works for you. It is not true that some people can be hypnotized and some can't. We are always under some state and we're always hypnotized, right? A lot of people are hypnotized by what's going on in their 3D reality. A lot of people are hypnotized by what they see on the TV, whether it be CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, or Netflix. A lot of people, you're always under the hypnosis of something. You just want to be under the hypnosis of what you want and be in control of that which you're feeding your mind. It's kind of like being asleep or being awake in your lifetime, okay? So yeah. Okay. I just feel that needs to be said. I'm trying to think if there was anything else about the hypnosis sessions. Oh, yes. Like I always say, it is not a quick fix. I'm going to say it again. Hypnosis, hypnotherapy is not a quick fix. There is not a quick fix to manifest reality creation. And you still have to change your thoughts beyond the appropriate mental diet. Be thinking what you want into existence. You guys, that is what we're doing. The only person can think what you want into existence with your SP is you. If you are looking for information or something from the outside of you, or you're waiting for him to do something or her to do something, so therefore you can have the evidence to move forwards, that in itself is a faulty system. And you're also setting yourself up to always look at them for information to move yourself forwards. Okay. Now, I get asked a lot, why is this so difficult? Like, okay, if it's just me, then if it's me that can think it, right, then what's going on? Why is it so difficult? Well, you guys, because of what I just said, okay? We have been trained to look to outside of us for answers. We've been trained to spend money, look at things, watch this, listen to that, talk to friends, talk to girlfriends. If you're a guy, maybe talk to your guy friends, okay? But most people have been conditioned to look to others for an answer in a way that negates the self, okay? It doesn't mean that you can't talk to people. It doesn't mean that you can't watch MSNBC. It doesn't mean that you can't watch Fox News. It doesn't mean that you can't watch CNN. Notice how I included all of the major channels there. So whatever you do, it's okay. Is there a channel I didn't include? Because I actually Don't put the news on frequently. I just don't like it. Okay. So whatever you're doing though, you want to be the one who's the creator. You want to be the cause most of the time, right? I'm talking like 80-20. It is most people that are practicing this are not walking around 100% of the time being like, I create my reality, I create it. So it's just so easy. I would say no. Okay. Especially with all the stuff that I hear people are inundated with on their phones, whether you're on Instagram, you're on TikTok, maybe you're on, what's another one? Snapchat, right? I feel like Pinterest is really benign unless you click on the ads. Okay. And then like all of a sudden you're buying stuff. Like, does that happen to anybody who loves to shop? Okay. So anyways, you guys, we're under the influence of a lot of things in today's day and age, especially with our phones, unless you're living off the grid. But if you're off the grid, would you even see this video? I'm not sure. So anyways, it comes down to self-reliance, self-trust, self-love, self-acceptance. That's what's going to get movement with your SP. And that is the client that I'm talking today about and her success story and how she transformed him through simple thoughts. It was her. Now, I will tell you, a lot of people come to me with a lot of questions and wonderings, and it leads me back to saying the same thing, which is you need to be more accountable to what you're thinking about him, and you need to stop looking to outside information for confirmation stuff, because a lot of people hear a lot of negatives from a lot of people, right? So it doesn't even help anyways. You know, it's also interesting to think about just keeping whatever you're manifesting with your SP secret, near and dear to you, just so it's not influenced. If you're someone that's easily influenced or taken off track, then just don't tell a lot of people, right? It's really okay to maintain your inner stance and your inner boundary of like, I am manifesting this, I'm creating it. And as I create it, I'm moving through recreating myself, which in itself is a deep layered process anyways. So therefore, I just don't want to talk to people about it. Now, if you do that, you have to go around the people you've been around and decide that they're talking about other things, essentially affirming that they're not going to ask you. Okay. I told a client that this week, and that might also be helpful if that's something that you're coming into contact with. Okay. But let's talk about everyone's you pushed out, and perception is projection. I, Alexis, think that it's much more useful to think, what's the story and what are my thoughts that I'm thinking that create my perception, and therefore my perception is 9/10. Like, what is that saying? Perception is 9/10 of the law. Okay. It's interesting. Does anybody out there watch Hulu? No. Netflix? And have you seen Dirty John, Dirty Betty, the Betty Broderick story of a woman that it's a pretty horrible story. But if you watch this, it's like a show. It's with Amanda Peet and Christian Slater play the two main characters. And Christian Slater's character is an attorney. And at one point in the show, he's educating attorneys on essentially, you need to help your client uphold their perception because their perception is what's true, meaning that there are 1,000 million perceptions, but that perception is 9/10 of the law. Okay. You guys watch that show, watch that, it's a really, really, really good drama. I just love true crime, mysteries, etc. And that's a good one. Okay. But even it was interesting. He said that, and I thought, oh yeah, that's reality creation, because you are helping your client and your client's perception. Now, in a court of law, most likely the defense and the prosecution have maybe different ideas, different perceptions of what actually happened. It's like when you see people talk about when you witness an accident, a car accident, or people who are involved in some sort of accident. Each person has a different story and different perception of what happened. Now, why does this apply to your SP? It applies because you need to stop making things a negative about you and start perceiving things on purpose that are of your benefit. There's one thing that this client did that it might help everybody to try it out, okay? I am not often telling clients to do free-form journaling and writing down things because a lot of people end up writing down a lot of negatives, or they're journaling and not changing their thoughts. What matters are the thoughts you're thinking and the perception that you're holding and the ideas that you're creating, therefore projecting into your reality. Okay. So what I had this client do is she would write down in major paragraph forms like the stories that she felt like were blocks with she and him. Now, one interesting story is that she had this like group of thoughts, and she would constantly talk about it. Like he me think if I can think of the neural connections that the perceptions. Okay, got it. She would say to me that he would always want somebody else, talk about somebody else, essentially was always kind of like talking about a third party. And he might even make comments with her in person about comparing her to others. Okay. So I said, well, how can we change that? How can we transform it? I want you to work on writing it out, because she had all these stories, like intricate paragraph forms in her mind that she would tell me about. And I said, okay, can you start writing that down? And then write the opposite. Like, write it down for exactly what it is. Like, whatever you're seeing, write it down. He's talking about this. She said, okay, so I'm going to try it. Right. And I said, all right, good luck. So she came back and told me that at one point she wrote down this paragraph about him, which was about this situation, because they had been out or something. And he was like doing this comparison factor, and nothing wrong with that. I really don't think he meant anything bad about it, but she didn't like it. Okay. So she wrote this down. And then she wrote the opposite, essentially changing her perception, changing her projection about it. She wrote the opposite. Guess what happened, you guys? Okay. He called her. No, it wasn't a call. It was a FaceTime. He FaceTimed her like an hour later when she was like at her parents' house. And he said essentially what the news story was. And he like had her on FaceTime at a party. And he was like talking and saying things. And then he was like echoing the new idea. Now, along with this, she had been affirming they're in communication. And she had been saying like he's FaceTiming me, he's calling me, he's texting me. And this was a guy who didn't do these things, didn't talk a lot, was closed off. When she met him, she was chasing and pursuing him for love in the relationship. She was always trying to coax him into talking about the relationship talk. Okay, so you can do this if you've had the history of not so much communication, not so many text messages, not so much FaceTimes. Okay. So you guys, I think we're going to have a visit from a 3-year-old who is currently shirtless because he's not wearing shirts. Hi, Grandpa. Oh, okay. But our new thing is to call everybody Grandpa. This is my son, Logan, and I'm in the house today doing the video. So he's just right here. So anyways, she did this, right? And like, look at, she got like immediate, almost instantaneous feedback of the paragraph that she had written along with the other intentions. So Logan, if you're going to be here, you got to sit with me and we're going to look in the video. Okay. Anybody manifesting for a little child or a little son, you can do it, you guys. Okay. Anyone think he looks like me? Okay. So, you know, isn't that so interesting? She got like almost immediate, instantaneous feedback. And I was like, well, yeah, because you changed the perception and the perception pushed out. What you don't want to get caught up in is this, like what a lot of people tell me is, oh, well, he's saying this, like he's comparing me to other people. So does that mean that like I am comparing myself to other people? Well, maybe you are, because that's something a lot of us do, but you want to think instead, what are my ideas and assumptions or beliefs about him? Or like in this case, it was a man, right? So what are my opinions and assumptions and ideas about men? Do men compare me to other women? It's more about, you guys, it's more about your assumption, idea, beliefs, and thoughts about them. Less to do about taking it all about yourself and being like, well, that's me. Do I think that? Not necessarily. Okay. It's a little precarious. It's a little bit individual when I talk to clients, but we don't want to take the everyone is me pushed out, meaning everything everyone says and everything that everyone does is what I think about me. No. Perception creates reality. So therefore, it's what I'm thinking, they're thinking. Okay. So this is how you cannot take things personally. It's like, you don't want to take responsibility for like everything going on and like all the major things happening in the world either, because that doesn't help you and that's not necessary. You came into a physical body, you came into the human realm. I say this every time. And that means that there are things that happen here. Okay. Death, birth, taxes, childbirth, right? Things like that. So anyways, don't overcomplicate it, you guys. I've talked to so many beautiful clients this week that are overcomplicating things, over analyzing everything, and then asking themselves, am I doing this right? Well, you're only asking yourself, am I doing this right? Because you're thinking too many thoughts about what you don't want. That way that client did that is one way that you can do it as a tool. But again, it doesn't mean that you can just think whatever you want to think. Like after doing this exercise, you still have to. Like she did this and she was still thinking, no, we're getting in better communication. He is FaceTiming me, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Wondering if I'm leaving anything out. The only thing I want to say about that is that when clients do affirmations for the SP, it is also because they're changing themselves, right? Because she'd uncovered with me that she had these deep abandonment, love was going to leave, love doesn't work out. She had been through a variety of relationships and had a variety of dynamics, but this guy she thought was just like it, right? He was the bee's knees. So if that's you, you can do this. You've just got to make sure that you're focusing on being, thinking, feeling the version of you that is loved and adored, and that everything is working out for. A lot of people have the assumption that love doesn't work out for them. You got to be thinking love works out for me, okay? And not being like, am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong? There isn't a doing it right and doing it wrong way of looking at reality creation. It is, am I thinking of what I want? Am I manifesting what I want? Am I taking care of me and thinking of what I want? Or am I thinking of what I don't want, okay? Okay, let me get to the success story. It's a short and sweet one. And what she and I did, okay, was we created a mantra. A mantra. Oh, and I gave a client a mantra this week, okay, to kind of solidify things because she's going through a busy period. Hey, happy Monday. I know she watches my videos. So, love you so much. Okay, so a mantra is, generally speaking, technically 3 to 4 affirmations that you say in repetition and that are your go-to, okay? This client also, we did that. I am not saying this though so that you take it on and create a mantra. If your mental diet is working for you and you've got a bunch of affirmations and it's working, then that's okay. If you have too many or you're overthink things, then you might want to condense it, okay? I mean, there's all different ways. I used to tell people years ago that you want to have as few affirmations as possible. You want to have as few thoughts that you need to think as possible. But then you guys, I had all these clients that had like 20 affirmations that were like, no, don't take them away. I love them all. So please don't tell me I have to have less. And I'd say, okay, Godspeed, have fun, affirm all of them. Okay, so it's really up to you. But this client, we condensed it into a small phrase. I am not going to say the phrase in the video here because it was particular to her. And actually, I think it would make it not anonymous, okay? But you could condense it into essentially, who is the person being, right? Who is the person being? Who are they? I've gotten some compliments on my nails. My nails are back, okay? All right, so here we go. All right. Dear Alexis, thank you so much for all of your help over the past 12 months. I am so happy to say that I am finally here with my success story, even though, as you know, I began to get major movement about 3 months ago. Okay, so 11, that was 9 months, you guys, of her being consistent, and then she got major movement. There were other movements, though, along the way, I want to say. Okay, I have been saying, oh, wait, I'm going to put a pause on the success story. I want to say to everybody, I have been saying timelines in videos to help people. I am not saying an amount of time so that you take it on yourself. Okay, that's another way that people are taking information outside of themselves and applying it to them. I am saying it because it is to help you, okay? You do not want to be so impressionable when you're watching my video that you take it on and compare yourself and think yourself, no. These videos are meant to be a motivator, something to keep you going, especially for clients in between sessions. They're not for you to take the information on and then compare yourself, okay? It is to help you so that you can be like, oh, okay, that is just her story. That is just her journey. It doesn't mean anything about you. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right. I guess I'm getting off on a little tangent here. Thank you so much for all of your help. I couldn't have done this without you. And I realize now that all along I had been manifesting him and creating him from the version of me that was in lack and from the version of him that was in lack. I really feel like it was that mantra that we created that was only 6 affirmations. So see, it wasn't 3 to 4, it was 6 affirmations that helped me turn things around. Once I did that, I really began to associate to him differently, along with changing my major perceptions about the major paragraphs that were in my mind, and therefore, I suppose within my subconscious about the whole scenario. I want everyone to know that this whole thing was way more difficult for me to do than I had ever realized. Alexis asked me the big questions, and she actually motivated me all along the way to be self-accountable, self-accepting, love myself, and be, and she puts in all caps, self-reliant. Like, should that be the title of the video? Manifest self-reliance? Not sure. Okay. Flash forward to now, and things are totally different with my SP. Before, there were so many what I would call quote unquote toxic relationship red flags, but now it's like he's a changed man, a different person. And he's even, as Alexis has said in so many of her other videos, constantly making eye contact with me in a way that I really don't know what to do. Other times before, when we had dated, because I want everyone to know that I've been on and off with this guy for about 7 years, that he would really make me feel like he wasn't paying attention to me. He'd always be on his phone. He'd always be distracted. And he would kind of like act like I wasn't there. Okay. So she would often feel invisible. Okay. So things are just so different now. And I can't say it enough. Each day I feel like I'm with a new person, and I feel like I am a new person. She's gone and written some personal stuff here, and there isn't that much left really. I asked her to make it like not personal, and people still love to put personal stuff in, so I have to delete it out. All right, still reading. I thought this was a short and sweet one. I guess I'm wrong, you guys. Okay. In the end of the day, I am so thankful for Alexis and all of the help that she has helped me out with, and all of the insight that she had given me about why I was thinking what I was thinking. She would ask me each session, why do you think you're thinking what you're thinking? Why aren't you thinking your affirmations? And I would say, well, I don't know. And she would tell me, yes, you do know. If there's the only person that can know is you. Oh God, that's so something I would say, you guys. So through all of her deep questions and really holding me accountable, I was able to manifest this. And I realized all along that it was about the thoughts I was thinking about him, the negative perceptions that I had taken on from previous relationships and also put onto him, and also my negative concept of self. Thank you so much. I want everyone to know that they can do this. We can do this, you guys. It's within our power and within us. The only one that can do it is you. She put that in all caps. Okay. See you soon, Alexis, and big kisses to you and Logan. Oh, and he made an appearance in the video. Okay. So, yeah, you guys, it is, I will say that a lot of people that come to me that are trying to like hack their own minds find it to be a little bit difficult, because they're usually not getting to the deeper issue about why they're creating what they're creating. If you can begin to ask yourself and accept, like, okay, I've manifested a breakup, I've manifested a pause, I've manifested drama with my person, I have manifested fights, I've manifested other things, right? And you could ask yourself, why have I done this? Like, what am I missing out? What am I missing? What's going on with me that I am creating this, right? Then it will help you get to the reason or the issue behind the tissue, which you can then transform and then change. Okay. That's also something that I had her do. But you guys, this is within your control. The only person that can manifest and recreate the relationship and recreate you and the dynamic is you anyways. Okay. So that's to say that if you're talking to people asking for advice, if you are talking to coaches, if you're booking a session with me, it is to help you along the way and to create the self-belief and the self-assumption that you're powerful, you can create this, and that you are able to do it, right? Yeah, nothing else is really coming to mind today for me for this video about this client in particular, besides the fact that she did make a lot of lifestyle changes. When she first came to coaching, she was pretty down and out. And then she started seeing like a functional medicine doctor. She was doing all these things. She was getting out. She was exercising. She was making new friends. She was living her life again. She had really put her life on hold. And she had kind of I see people do this where they put their life on hold and all they're doing is watching YouTube videos and all they're doing is manifesting for their person. But it will help you in manifesting for your person to create the full life for yourself, be living your life fully, be having a good time, be doing things for you, and asking yourself, what do I need to do for me today? What are my needs today? This will also help you if you are manifesting for someone to meet your needs. Like, let's say you're affirming, he meets my needs. She meets my needs. She does, like, my needs are met. Well, my question is, are you meeting your own needs? Are you doing what you want to do? Do you even know what your needs are? Do you know what your wants are? Do you know what your values are? Generally speaking, when we cause discord in relationships, like, it's about us, it's about things that we're also missing and a lack of fulfillment, right? So the only person that can create your self-fulfillment is you. The only person that can create your feeling good consistently is you. The only person that can create your happiness is you. What we're not doing here and I want to be very clear about this, is manifesting for a person like, oh, I'm creating that they love me and they like me and they want me, so that therefore I feel like my life is moving forwards and something is finally happening. What I want to say too is, if you're getting caught up in the, but Alexis, like, it's my age, I need to get married, then I'll be happy. I need to have a baby, then I'll be happy. I need to do X, Y, and Z, and then I can work on myself. It doesn't work that way. Okay. You're offloading your self-development and your self-happiness to the future. And then guess what, you guys? It's always going to be in the future. It's not going to be about the marriage or about the baby. You're going to get the marriage, you're going to get the baby, and then it's going to be about the house and the second baby. And then when you have that, it's going to be about, who knows, your retirement party. Okay. If, you know, an age thing. Okay. But so anyways, the time is now. The only time you have is now. Do you guys see I'm blinking? Like, you know, when cats blink, it's like, I love you when they hold deep blinks. Anyone know I'm part cat? All right, you guys. So I am offering so many tidbits in this video, and my son even made an appearance. He might even make another appearance before we're done. I hear him walking around. Okay. So let's get super self-accountable, super self-focused, and change those perceptions. You got to change those stories about your person. Change those paragraphs. They don't need to be true for you. If you come to the idea that I said about perception and idea and the thoughts you're thinking, that is what pushes out, right? So we don't need to hold those. You don't have to keep on thinking those. Yes, everything in your reality is empty and meaningless. It means no one thing, but that means that it's your job to give it the appropriate thoughts, the appropriate meaning, and to say, oh no, how is he acting instead? What is he doing instead? What am I seeing instead? Who are we instead? Right? Instead of the natural default system of the mind and thinking what you don't want, because the more that you think about what you don't want, guess what you're going to think? More about what you don't want. You got to jump to, no, this is what I do want. Okay. So try this out. People are often asking me, what else can I do besides do my mental diet? This is one way. Write things out, major paragraphs that you think are standing in the way, if this is something that speaks to you, and then create the opposite of what you want. Isn't it crazy that she got a full-blown FaceTime of him telling her the information that she had written? I mean, I was like, I try to act very unsurprised, you know, when clients have major breakthroughs, because I want it to be like their new normal. But I was like, wow, well, that's a really good one. And people do often get phone calls, text messages, FaceTimes, etc., when they're in session with me, because when they're in session from me, they're doing what I'm saying in this paragraph thing through conversation, shifting the perception, shifting the thoughts, and then the person comes through, right? Okay. So anyways, that's the releasing resistance factor. All right, you guys. So this is my video for this week. We're moving into the fall season here in America. So it is the beginning of November when I am doing this video. So let's continue to move through the holidays, all of the major events coming up, all the major dates, thinking that you're having a good time, you're feeling good in the holidays, and that you're changing your perception. Love you guys so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.